Today, a staffer for Senator Mike Lee said he won't be appearing on ABC News until Stephanopoulos recuses himself from all 2016 coverage. Joining us now with more is Senator Mike Lee. Well, it appears that, they made the statement that he's not going to be a part of their debate coverage, but that's not enough for you?
Well, it's certainly not enough for members of my staff who have given me this advice. Look, the fact is that we have the wealthy and the well-connected who are controlling the dialogue. And here you have George Stephanopoulos. Now, I want to make clear, I think he's very interesting to watch. I've enjoyed doing interviews with him in the past. I find him very professional in many ways. But the fact is, Sean, he got his start with the Clintons a couple decades ago in a very prominent way. The fact also is that he has donated to the Clinton Foundation $25,000 a year, each year for the last 3 years in a row, a total of $75,000. And then finally, he caps it off by interviewing Peter Schweizer, the author of Clinton Cash, and going after him really quite aggressively. And he does so notwithstanding the fact that he's pretty openly a Clinton partisan. He's somebody who has helped the Clinton Foundation. He's not in a position of being a neutral arbitrator of the facts. And so I do think this is a concern, and I do think that he shouldn't be presenting himself to the world as a neutral arbiter of the facts in the presidential election cycle for 2016.
He was acting like an advocate, a special pleader, if you will, for the Clintons in that interview. The idea that they're saying that it was an honest mistake, I don't believe that. I think he thought he'd get away with it and didn't disclose it. And I think ABC News is going to take a credibility hit, like a lot of the mainstream media. I don't know if this is worse or Brian Williams, exaggerating some of the experience he's had. This goes to the credibility of a news organization. Was there really even an ABC News investigation that found nothing in Peter Schweizer's book? Well, the New York Times did, and the Washington Post, in fact, did, and other mainstream media did. I just don't believe that ever happened, and I think he threw ABC News now in the middle of this. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think it certainly has the potential to call into question ABC's ability to be objective. Look, the thought that kept coming to my mind when I watched that interview between George Stephanopoulos and Peter Schweizer was cross-examination. I felt like Mr. Schweizer was undergoing an aggressive, rigorous cross-examination. Not by someone who was just trying to get to the truth, but by someone who was trying to shoot down everything he could. And in fact, it was interesting, Sean, he repeatedly referred to Mr. Schweizer's political connections, turning a complete blind eye to the fact that he himself, Mr. Stephanopoulos, has political connections to the Clintons that run very far and very deep. He never once referred to them, nor did he acknowledge until very recently the fact that he's donated $75,000 to the Clinton Foundation.
This was my gut. I can't prove it unless he wants to reveal text messages, phone records, etc., which I don't think that's ever going to happen. I felt that this was coordinated. I felt that he was doing this because after the interview, that was that interview that Bill Clinton was using to defend himself from the charges here. Did you feel it was coordinated?
I think it certainly could have been. And I know people who, after watching it, said, it looks to me like he just took the talking points from the Clinton campaign and just used those. I can't prove that that's what happened, but it's certainly consistent with what could have happened. And the fact that he has this background with the Clintons, that he's donated $75,000 to the Clinton campaign, and the fact that he didn't disclose it until very recently all certainly adds some suspicion to this. But it's all the more reason why he ought to stay out, perhaps, of covering the 2016 presidential election cycle.
I think maybe covering politics. I don't think he's an innocent bystander, objective broker. But all right, Senator, good to see you. Thank you for being with us.